little update for you over to Alonso's. Things are getting better despite the intermittent rains. They seem like they're getting better anyway. Oh, I think I told you, maybe if I didn't, but anyway, I had to change gears because I got Wilbur stuck the other day. And so in response to that, I went out on the end and I started bailing back all this clay. And I built me a really good haul road up now, all solid clay. And can actually back Wilbur out on that no problem. So I actually hauled 9 loads today of overburden, which is not a lot. About 4 hours, but that wasn't 4 hours of straight hauling. Breaks in between, and was slowed down because obviously driving Wilbur out, kept wanting to get, spinning and get stuck. But never did get stuck, managed to wiggle my way out of it every time, but also had to stop and apply some lime. So we've been throwing on lime to help solidify the soil, and it's working really, really well. We don't have a proper, soil mixer out here to integrate it. So basically I just sprinkle it on the surface, lay it on pretty heavy, really, not sprinkled. Lay it on pretty thick on the surface where I've got a problem, and then just by driving back and forth through it, it naturally is going to get mixed in. So you can see some white powder there on the sides. Oh, a little bit more out here, but when I started this morning, right here on the inside of this corner, I had a really soft spot. Almost got stuck with the first load. And so went back through, I think I put 100 or 150 pounds of lime right in this corner here. And I also got some good, hard, dry clay out of the deep bottom of the pond. I got some good caliche and mixed in there. And it's set up really firm. So that corner is actually now really good and solid. My only problem spot now is right out here in the middle. When I back in and get loaded, I sink down a little bit, but I'm able to drive out of it. About every 3 to 4 loads, I stop and have to cut the high center down out of it and repack it a little bit. So it's working. But like I said, 9 loads out today. That's all this overburden in here. I only have space to dump 3 loads. So again, that's what's part of what's slowing me down, is I dump 3 loads. I think now I've got room I can do 4 maybe. Starting 1 over here and maybe get 4 across. But then I have to bring the excavator over and I have to flip it all out with the bucket to push it out further. It's just not solid enough. I put, I think 400 pounds of lime just right in here, and I don't know, maybe it's doing some good, but this stuff is so goopy. I mean, it was every bit milkshake mud. Some of it, when I loaded it in the truck, I actually had water dripping out through the holes, through the drain holes in the bed. It was that wet. But I'm at least able to walk on it now, kind of. I can feel I'm sinking in a little bit, but I'm not totally going down. So before I haul more, I'll come back across the top here and I'll dump on a ton more lime on this nice flat surface, and then I'll run back and forth on it with the excavator tracks and try to pack in a little bit more. It does seem to be helping, so I'm hoping Alonso can keep finding it. He's picking up some somewhere. I don't think he's paying for it, but that's none of my business. Anyway, so yeah, it's getting better. Things are going good. I just had a short day today. I got to shut down and go take care of some other business. And it's going to rain again tonight, so we'll see what that rain does. And hopefully we'll be right back to hauling pretty quick. But I got to get a little Rita out of here, and I got to get Wilbur out of here, and I'll be done for today. Well, I just thought I'd give you guys a little update on Alonso's. I really don't remember the last thing I've showed you guys, but I have finally managed to get all of the topsoil, I call it topsoil, muck, overburden, whatever, the junk dirt, got all of it hauled out of the pond. So maybe now you guys are out of the pond extension. So maybe hopefully now you guys can a little better understand what I'm working on. So recall I had Wilbur stuck downabouts in here somewhere. And so then I went out to the end and I bailed out clay, and I built all of this up with clay. So there was no more ramp, there was no more hill. I had a good 4 feet of clay under me. And that was enough that I was able to start getting Wilbur in here, backing in and loading. So then we started hauling out all of the overburden. If you recall, I had big hills of it all the way through here. This whole trench, what's now a trench, from this end of what I'm calling the pier, from this end of the pier, where's my finger? Yeah. From this end of the pier all the way to that far corner was, instead of a trench, it was a heap about that same size. So take the depth of that hole and put it up top, okay? finally got all of that hauled out, and that was a long process because I would have to haul a few loads of muck and then go dump it anywhere I could. So I baled a bunch first over there behind Rita. You can see I've got a little mountain of it. Behind Rosie, I dumped, I don't know, 15 loads over there, but I was only able to dump about 3, and then I had to go with the excavator and flip it all out away from me because there wasn't solid ground to back out any further. And all the rest of it went over here. So you see the hill, but there's actually quite a bit of volume behind that hill too that's flipped out. So anyway, I just put it anywhere I could to get off the edge of what little bit of solid work surface I have. So what we're down to now, what we're left with is, again, what I'm calling the pier. So we're going to be coming out here on the end, and you can see we've dug down. We've gotten all the way down on the good hard white caliche. It's about 15 feet, and as I'm working backwards, I am sloping this side bank of the pond down as I go, and I'm digging a flat bottom out in here to maximize how much volume I get out. So getting quite a bit of clay. By the math, it should be enough. It just never feels like enough. We'll just have to see as I start hauling it out how quickly it piles up. If it's not enough, I will be able to get down here on the bottom again, and I'll break out this little bit of levee, and I'll try to get all this muck and mud from this side to flow over into this side, into the absolute bottom that it already is. And then I might be able to dig a deeper slot trench over there to get a little bit more off from underneath that. But really hoping I don't have to do that, because that's going to be a whole big muddy mess that I don't want to deal with. I'd rather just leave that just the way it is. It's already silted in a little bit, gives the pond bottom some contour or whatever. So anyway, that's it. That's your update. I guess I'll walk you over here and show you where we're at on actually building up the house pad. It doesn't look like a lot because it's not, but it's more than we had. I hope, I'll bring a tape measure over here and just measure it and see, because I don't even know how long or how high the pier is. But again, real short turn. It's almost not even enough to turn the truck around. Actually, the last few loads that I was hauling with the dirt went really well because I just parked Wilbur right here in front of Rosie, and I had Rosie parked off to the side, so I wasn't having to back in and turn around each time. I was just side loading. So here we are on the pad. We're built up. As we're walking onto the pad, you see the post over here. You can see we're just about built up to where we need to be on the post. Maybe another foot. So we've got, I don't know, like I said, maybe a 1/6 or an 1/8 of the pad is built up where it needs to be, the height that it needs to be. My water pump threw a fit, broke the pull rope again, but I've got a little sump hole dug over there for the water pump where I've got it set. So I'll get it fired up, and then I think I showed you guys this. When I come out, I have to hook the teeth of the bucket, and I have to bulldoze a little bit to bulldoze out a little berm of clay to push the water out ahead of me so I'm not dumping clay on the water. That works pretty good, but I don't do it until the day that I'm ready to start hauling dirt in here. I do that, and then I start dumping clay. That way I don't have a trough over there that's catching water too. And then at the end of the day, I have to make sure it's filled back in and it's all sloped off. So anyway, yeah, mountains of mud. Maybe that'll be the title of the video. Mountains of mud. We've been integrating some lime. You can see little white patches out here. Alonso's been getting me a bunch of lime, and that actually helps quite a bit. It doesn't seem to work like instantly, like that day, because we don't have a good like soil mixer to really mix it in and get it working right away. But it does help firm things up if you get enough of it in there. I put quite a bit. I put several hundred pounds right in here in this little kind of intersection where I've been turning the truck around in and out. It was pretty messy, but it's gotten a lot better. Of course, it's nice and smoothed off now today because I've been coming out here on the pier and robbing some clay and taking out the driveway. We're supposed to get another rain today at some point. Of course, it was supposed to rain yesterday too and didn't. So I was just trying to get in here and prep Alonso's driveway. I got all the ruts filled in because coming in and out with Wilbur, I'm leaving ruts. So I got all those ruts filled in. Driveway's hopefully got a little bit of a slope to it. If nothing else, at least a rise. And yeah, we'll see what this rain does. Weatherman says once this rain passes, it's supposed to dry off for about a week. So hopefully, get in here and get her done. Well, we have some exciting news. If I can talk over the pump, I got the water pump going, of course, just on idle, basically, just pulling out the water that's in this fill area. But I managed to get a whopping 10 loads of dirt hauled today. By the time I got over here, and well, by the time I finally got Wilbur started and got over here and got running, it was 10:45 when I pulled out with my first load. But I'm hauling with the turnaround. Of course, every load gets a little faster, but with the turnaround, I was hauling 8 loads an hour, which, I don't know, just say it's 20 yards per load. Then that's 160 yards an hour. So as far as Alonso's concerned, that's $1,600 an hour worth of value that he's getting. So that's pretty good because I'm not charging him that. But anyway, the big news is that I've gotten fill dirt now pushed out to the northeast corner. So we had this was the southwest corner. This is where we enter onto the pad. Of course, we're digging over there in the shadows. So it's just a quick pull out, turn around and back over here. But this was really what I wanted to get done for today. It's not filled up as high as it has to go by any means. Technically, the top of the pink mark on the post there is where it needs to go. So I got about another 2 foot of fill that's supposed to be in here. But what I wanted to get done at a minimum was get the base layer of clay put in so that it's now above grade, and we're not trapping water. All that out there still catches water because I dug it down a little bit to take out a bunch of roots and stumps and stuff. So at least I've got the base layer back in here. I can smooth this out a little bit with Rosie, or even get Rita on it before a rain or something. I can get Rita in here and really slick it off to make sure it sheds water really well, and that's what's important. See, I got one zip popped up there, so I'll get some lime. I think I'm gonna have to get some lime in here anyway, kind of proactively, because where I'm having to take my bucket and curl it out to sweep this mud out ahead of me, and it's getting to where it's pretty runny and I'm getting water trying to squirt back through. So really for today, it's a good point to stop anyway, let the sun really bake on that, try to dry it out some. But before I go to shoving it again the next time I haul, I'll throw lime all over it and try to get that lime integrated in as I'm pushing that levee forward. But you can see my pump's over there in the corner, and I've got a deeper spot over here in this corner, so the water's not wanting to drain out of there. You can see just a couple of spots where it's trickling across. Right here, right there, it's trickling across. And I thought over on the far side I had one spot trickling, but now I don't see it moving over there. But anyway, the point is, as I'm pushing mud, I'm actually raising the water level until it finally gets high enough to find a spot to break across. Because I had the pump going the other day and had all this pumped down to where nothing was flowing anymore. So that's again my fault for just doing a poor job of grading when I stripped out the organics. I didn't have any sort of transit out here. I didn't have a dozer, so it was just me eyeballing it from the seat of the Rosie, which is kind of like a mile-high view. It really messes with my perspective. Perspective. Things look level and smooth, and then when you get down on the ground, it's like, wow, that's horrible. So anyway, yeah, this is a big deal. This gives me space. I hold 10 loads just stacked right in here. Spreading all that out, I've got space now to easily put 10 just right in there, and I can put another 10 in front of it. So that's what's important too, is getting more and more space on this pad to dump loads of dirt, because now that'll extend my time. I can spend more time just straight hauling and then move over and focus on spreading. I'm not having to run back and forth every couple of loads like I was on the topsoil. So anyway, that's it for this little update. But things are going good. I guess I can take you over here and show you the dig area. I don't know that it probably doesn't look that much different to the camera's perspective here, but I did start to get a little bit of a heap established, which is good. Come on, Bear. Forgot I had my daughter with me for a second. Started to get a little bit of heap because when I started the morning, I had Rosie parked on the same level as Wilbur, which kind of stinks to have to go up and over the side of the truck that high. So once I started digging, I started trying to stack some dirt up under my tracks, and I've got me a little mound built now, and it seems silly, but just that, come on, baby, just that little bit of building up, getting a couple feet higher with the excavator makes a huge difference in how smoothly I can load the truck. It saves time coming across the top of the truck. Come on. I mean, I guess in theory the boom and bucket travels just as much, because as I build myself higher, I'm digging deeper down in the pond, but whatever, it feels smoother. So yeah, When I started this morning, I think the cut line was about across there. So 10 loads moved me back about, I don't know, 10 feet.
Fall down,
So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping still that this is enough dirt. It's scary to me. I know I say this every time. It seems like enough, and then somehow it's not. So hopefully it's enough, but I've told you guys before what my plan is. If it's not enough, I can break that and maybe get a little bit more. So for now, I'm just focusing on getting everything out of this side nice and clean, and then we'll do whatever we have to if it's necessary. But anyway, I gotta get the little girl home here for a nap. Mom brought her over to me. My wife had to go to the cabinet shop, so she had to bring me a little bear over, and I let her ride on my lap until nap time. But it's nap time for her, and I'll have to find something productive to do around the house until my wife gets back home, I guess. So it is what it is. Working parents. All right, we're gonna hop in Wilbur and head home. Well, I haven't been making progress videos like I should, so just figured I'd show you where we're at on the pond right now today. It's supposed to rain tonight. Pretty good chance it's gonna rain. I don't know what they're exactly calling for. It says chance of thunderstorms, but I haven't heard anything about, you know, crazy amounts of precipitation. But anyway, we're just looking down to the hole now. I actually parked the machine yesterday I'm standing right here at eye level with Rose's boom, and got the bucket all the way down in the hole there just because that's where it was when I decided to shut down. I'm gonna try to pick up everything that you see that's broke and loose right along the edge. I'm gonna try to pick up and put behind me just to get loose stuff up and then be able to kind of drive back and forth and pack it so that if we do get a big rain, all this stuff isn't lost down in the bottom of the hole. But just kind of give you a little status of the dig. I've reached, this is the back, this would be the southwest corner of the pond. So I am basically sitting on that bank at this point on the south bank. You can see there's kind of a little triangle shape right in here. Goes there and then back out. That's where I missed a cut, so I'll have to get, once I grade the final bank, I'll come back down in the pond and I'll go along the bank and I'll pull all that down in and then bail it back. So there's another, I don't know, several loads right there. So that's a little stash I'll be able to get to if I have to for extra dirt, which I'm thinking I'm gonna have to. And then of course, like we talked, we may have to actually get down in there and dig a deeper hole in the new bottom, drain all that, and try to get that sludge off and then dig that mud out too. I really don't want to because then it's going to be a whole bunch of extra work, but I will if it means getting the job done and getting it done as promised. So anyway, that's where it's at on the pad. We've got, looking over at the pad to show you from here, I got 8 more loads on it yesterday. I don't think that's quite going to be enough to get that whole original hole filled in. The pad is all sorts of varied thicknesses, so I haven't even bothered to shoot a grade on it yet. But today's goal, I've just got to get in, smooth out, and pack those piles from yesterday, get everything graded, ruts filled and stuff in preparation for the day. Just figured I'd show you where it's at right now while the machine warms up, give you a little summary on it before we eventually take a break.